The year is 1816. Imagine a summer where the sun barely shines. Imagine frost covering the ground in June and snow falling in July. This is what happened in 1816, a year that went down in history as the year without a summer. Across Europe and North America, people experienced strange and unsettling weather. Temperatures plummeted. The skies were often dark and gloomy, shrouded in a strange, persistent haze. Farmers watched in despair as their crops withered and died. Food became scarce, and people struggled to survive the unrelenting cold. What caused this dramatic shift in the Earth's climate? The answer lies in a volcanic eruption of unprecedented scale, half a world away. On the island of Sumbawa in Indonesia, a volcano named Mount Tambora slumbered. For centuries it had been quiet, its peak a silent sentinel against the sky. But in April 1815, the mountain awoke with a roar that shook the earth. The eruption of Mount Tambora was the largest volcanic eruption in recorded history. It blasted millions of tons of ash and gas high into the atmosphere. The sound of the explosion was heard thousands of miles away, mistaken for cannon fire by startled islanders. The eruption of Mount Tambora injected vast amounts of sulfur dioxide into the stratosphere, the second layer of Earth's atmosphere. This gas formed a veil of sulfate aerosols that spread around the globe, reflecting sunlight back into space. The result was a global cooling effect. Average temperatures in the northern hemisphere dropped by 0.5 to 1 degree Celsius. This may not seem like much, but it was enough to disrupt weather patterns and cause widespread crop failures. The summer of 1816 was the coldest on record in much of the northern hemisphere. Frost and snow were reported in New England and Europe throughout the summer months. Rivers and lakes froze over, and crops failed on a massive scale. The lack of food led to widespread famine and hardship. People were forced to eat whatever they could find, including bark, roots, and even rats. Food prices skyrocketed and social unrest grew. Section 5. A spark of creativity, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. The summer of 1816 was a dark and dreary time for many, but amidst the gloom, a spark of creativity emerged. Mary Shelley, a young writer, was spending the summer in Switzerland with her husband, the poet Percy Bysshe Shelley, and their friend Lord Byron. Confined indoors by the cold and rain, they challenged each other to write a ghost story. Mary's story, inspired by the eerie weather and the conversations she had with her companions, would become one of the most famous novels of all time, Frankenstein. Section 6. The science behind the silence, understanding volcanic winter. Why did Mount Tambora's eruption have such a profound impact on the global climate? The answer lies in the science of volcanic eruptions. When a volcano erupts, it releases a mixture of ash, gas, and molten rock. The ash and gas can be injected high into the atmosphere where they can block sunlight and cool the planet. The sulfur dioxide released by Tambora was particularly effective at cooling the Earth. When sulfur dioxide reaches the stratosphere, it reacts with water vapor to form sulfate aerosols. These aerosols act like tiny mirrors, reflecting sunlight back into space and cooling the planet. Section 7. Echoes in time. Tambora's legacy on climate science. The year without a summer was a stark reminder of the powerful forces at work in our planet's climate system. It showed how a single volcanic eruption could have global consequences, disrupting weather patterns and impacting human societies. Today, scientists study past volcanic eruptions like Tambora to better understand how these events affect the climate. By analyzing ice cores, tree rings, and historical records, they can piece together a picture of past climates and learn how volcanic eruptions have shaped our planet's history. Section 8. The Ring of Fire, a reminder of nature's power. Mount Tambora is just one volcano in the Pacific Ring of Fire, a zone of intense volcanic and seismic activity that encircles the Pacific Ocean. This region is home to some of the world's most active and dangerous volcanoes. The eruption of Mount Tambora serves as a reminder of the immense power of nature and the potential for volcanic eruptions to impact our planet and our lives. While we cannot prevent volcanic eruptions, we can study them, learn from them, and be better prepared for their potential impacts. Section 9, Conclusion Lessons from a Year Without a Summer. The year without a summer was a time of hardship and uncertainty, but it also taught us valuable lessons about the interconnectedness of our planet and the power of nature. By studying past climate events like the year without a summer, we can gain a better understanding of our planet's climate system and the potential impacts of climate change. We can also learn from the resilience of those who lived through this challenging time and use this knowledge to build a more sustainable future. The story of the year without a summer is a reminder that we are all connected to each other, to our planet, and to the history that shapes our lives.